Welcome back to As It Should Be. Paul Berlina here in the world-famous As It Should Be studios with Crystal Durant.
Hello.
With Tommy Von Voigt.
I've eaten so much candy already.
And it's just the beginning of the day.
Oh. I also had two jelly donuts and one Bavarian cream on the way over.
What?
And no deli sandwich, so.
No.
Wow.
Well, did you have some soda?
I had a bottle of orange juice.
Okay, well, there you go. There's your nutrition for the day.
I'll make sure to have a whole bunch of gummy vitamins when I get home.
Excellent.
But, anyway, what's this all about? Well, this is all directly related, of course, to the fact that we are in 1960.
Yes.
It is 1960, a new decade, and as you can clearly see, and we are going to discuss our top 10 favorite albums of the year.
Yep.
That's right, not a whole decade this time. We're actually...
Now we're going year by year.
We're going right for it, and we're going right for an exact, like a specific year to kind of slow things down a bit.
And we're going to do every year until we can't.
Until we can't.
We don't actually know when we're going to stop this one, do we?
We don't know.
This could go for a while.
No one knows.
We could be like, okay, top 10 albums of 2007. Here we go.
Holy fuck.
I'll be honest, that would be so much
That
easier
would
for me than
be-
singles.
That would be interesting, but we don't really know if we're going to get there or if we're going to go beyond that. We don't know yet.
At least 1999.
Oh, yeah. No,
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
be able to get
We
that
got
far,
it.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get to 99.
I know I personally can go all the way.
Let's go all the way.
I can go to 2022.
Go all
With
the
albums.
way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could do it too.
But that is a decision we're not making right now.
We'll see.
Anyway, I get to start this episode.
Yes, you do.
I am.
Yeah.
Paul,
I'm
start
on
in the 60s.
That is
As
correct.
it should be.
As it should be, indeed.
All right. Okay, so my honorable mentions. I have 3 honorable mentions for 1960. Donald Byrd with Fuego.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Me likey.
The orange cover.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Nat King Cole with Wild as Love.
Oh, yeah.
One of possibly the first, if not, well, definitely one of the earliest, if not the first, concept album.
Right.
Yeah. Fats Domino with A Lot of Dominoes. I ended up having to bump Fats down into honorable mentions. I really wanted to get a Fats album onto one of these lists, but he just hasn't been able to make it. But that's it for my honorable mentions. Let's go on to the albums. Okay. My number 10. Nice and Easy Does It by Frank Sinatra. Nice and Easy.
So,
Now, this album
yeah.
is basically an album of exclusively ballads. It's all ballads except for this track.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because originally the Nearness of You was going to be on it instead of Nice and Easy, and for some reason they swapped them out. I don't know why. So there's this one random
Maybe it
upbeat
wasn't
kind of track on
ring-a-ding
it.
enough.
I don't know. Anyway, so number 9. Number 9, Hank Mobley, Soul Station.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, I wonder, I keep wondering if maybe that's where Paul Stanley got the idea for his...
I bet you.
I think it is.
I'll put my
Yeah.
bottom dollar on that.
Yeah, because Paul Stanley is more of a well-rounded music listener than you might think.
Yeah, and that Soul Station record, the Paul Stanley record, it's actually really
it's really
good.
good.
It
It's
is
really
not
good.
bad.
Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk. We might be talking about that later if we get that far in the albums list. But anyway, maybe possibly.
Well,
Anyway,
see.
number 8. Let's go on to number 8. Number 8. Stan Turrentine.
Ooh.
Look out.
Oh,
Look out.
Yeah, look out.
Now, this is his very first album for Blue Note. He'd actually recorded a previous album for another label, but for some reason they didn't release it until 63, so technically this is actually his first album.
Nice.
And, I definitely prefer, when it comes to the jazz guys, I have a tendency to go for the saxophonists.
Surprise.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that early DNA of yacht rock coming in, yeah.
Yeah.
But number 7, Nancy Wilson. Like in Love.
Oh, yeah.
Nancy Wilson's debut album.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know this
yeah.
album. Yeah. This isn't really one of my very favorite Nancy Wilson albums, but the thing about Nancy Wilson is that when we get into her mid to late 60s albums, which are my favorite ones, sorry, Nancy, you are not going to make the top 10 in 1967. It's just not going to happen. So,
Why not?
I love Nancy.
There might be one or two other things going on in
There's
67.
some slightly,
Mm.
hot competition there. Number 6, didn't see this guy coming. Sammy Davis Jr. I got right to
Sammy.
swing. Yeah. Now, this album actually could rank higher than number 6, except for the one little problem. It opens up with "The Lady Is a Tramp," and I hate that song. I hate that song as performed by anybody, even Sammy. But if it had Ladies of Tramp, it was like, the 6th song on side 2.
You could look past it.
Then the album could rank higher, but opening with that, no boy. That is a no boy.
Why do you hate that song?
I just got sick of it.
Oh.
I didn't always hate it. That was one song of this ilk that I just went.
Nope. Okay.
But anyway, number 5. Think. James Brown and the Famous Flames. Yeah, now we're talking. I was talking about Please, Please, Please not being quite the... When he gets to this...
Yeah.
That's James Brown.
James Brown has arrived.
Yes.
I mean, this isn't his second album. This is his third album, I think. But still, he's fully formed by the time he gets to Think, that's for sure. And number 4... Nat King Cole, Tell Me All About Yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of mostly kind of upbeat, lightly swinging tracks. It's kind of like, because, these guys usually they'll do a ballady album, and then they'll do a swingy album, and, well, this is one of Nat King Cole's swingy albums.
Even another year or two,
And,
probably did a Twisty album.
Yeah, and then they do the Twisty albums. Yeah, well, especially this year, because,
And a Gershwin album,
Yes.
and, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's got, the title track, and It Will Have to Do Until the Real Thing Comes Along, and stuff like that on it. But anyway, number 3, now we're getting into the really good stuff. Actually, all this is really good stuff, but number 3, the Shirelles with their debut album. Yeah, Tonight's the Night. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, Will You Love Me Tomorrow, dedicated to the one I love. The original version of Boys, which the Beatles redid.
Yep.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
In fact, the Shirelles album almost made number 1.
Ooh.
But, number 2. I had to go with number 2. I had to put above the Shirelles.
Ding, ding,
A
ding.
Date
Yeah.
with the Everly Brothers. Yeah. Yeah, that's, the Everly Brothers, during a certain period, you kind of can't go wrong with them.
Yeah.
They're just, you listen to the records and it's like, even if it's a song that's like, that's okay, they sound so damn good on it
Right.
that it's an enjoyable listen.
Yeah.
That's
true.
this
certain
one
point
has
you
like
can-
Kathy's Clown and Love Hurts on it.
Kathy's Clown is such a great...
It's a great song.
The drum...
Yeah.
the drum... It's so... Oh, man. The drum
What
part's
was the
so good.
first track on this one? I think "Made to Love." I think. I feel
Yeah,
like
Made
I
to
remember
Love.
that one being an
Yeah.
absolute fucking banger. Yeah, this is a great record, man.
And that album has 2 different covers.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's another cover, which I'm sure you guys have all seen, that's like a gold frame with them. I prefer this cover. And I just recently got this in the dollar bin. It's a totally tattered dollar bin copy that I got for your entertainment.
For your pleasure.
For your pleasure. But number 1. The Shirelles wanted to be at number 1, and I wanted them. I was rooting for them, but there's no fucking way I was going to put them above At Last by Etta James.
Yes.
I mean, come on. Yeah. I mean, that's her
Dude.
debut fucking album, produced by the Chess Brothers. And, she's a blues belter, but they put all these strings behind her to try to give her, like, pop crossover, and boy, did that work. I mean, most of her classics are on this album. I mean, she has
Yeah.
classics on other albums, but this is
Yeah.
her Silk Degrees.
Oh, it is her Silk Degrees. That's good. Yeah. Genius.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so there you go. Etta James At Last, my number 1.
That's good. That's a good list.
Nicely done, man.
I like it.
Top drawer.
Yes.
All right, so let's hit to some commercials here.
Want king-size refreshments? Sure you do. Well, king-size Coke has more for you. King-size Coke has more for you. Biggest value, liveliest lip, refreshes you the very best too.
Biggest value, liveliest live too. That Coke is taste, refreshes best, so it has much more for you. King size Coke, so much more. Come on, what are you waiting for?
King-size Coke has more for you. King-size Coke has more for you. Biggest value, liveliest lip, refreshes you the very best too.
Get king size Coca-Cola.
All right, well, we have returned
Okay.
from the messages. I'm sure there were essential
out there
messages.
smoking?
I'm
They
sure you
were
learned much.
absolutely carcinogenic
Yes.
commercials. All right, so we're over to me, huh?
Let's do it, Tommy.
Tommy
do
time.
it.
It's Tommy time. Get up.
Everybody's going to move their feet.
I've got honorable mentions.
Wow.
I do. Well, actually, I have one honorable mention. Connie Francis sings "Rock and Roll Million Sellers"
Oh,
by
man.
Connie Francis.
Francis.
Oh, shit. I was like, I was on the edge of my seat. Who's this album by?
Yeah, it's by Nat King Cole. Yeah. No, it's.
Well, see, now that's another thing about albums from this era. That sounds like it would be the title of a compilation.
I know, and they're very tricky. Some of these albums.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very easy to get fooled sometimes by a compilation because the compilations don't always appear to be compilations.
And everybody's somebody's fool.
That's a
true.
great goddamn song. I fucking love that song. Okay, so let's get to my list. My number 10, Chubby Checker, Twist with Chubby Checker.
Yes.
I mean, how could you not for 1960, you know?
Ding, ding, ding. That's good.
My number 9, the explosive Freddie Cannon.
Oh,
Look out.
It's dynamite.
Yeah, Freddie Cannon, he's interesting. He's got some songs that are absolute fucking just awesome, like killer songs, and then he's also got some shit. It's like, dude, who was informing your decisions? Like, who was guiding your career?
Freddie Cannon is Palisades Park,
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
that
I
guy.
fucking
Yeah.
hate that song.
Oh my god, I
Really?
love that song.
Everybody loves that song.
Yay!
Everybody loves that song. I hate it.
Well, you're
Really?
wrong.
Why?
Yeah, I know Chuck Barris loves that song.
Well, I mean, he would.
He would.
My number 8, the Shirelles, Tonight's the Night.
Oh, yes,
Oh,
of course.
yes.
I mean,
As it should be.
yeah, that's a great record. But it's beat out by number 7. Now, I will say my number 7 is technically a compilation, okay? But I'm going to allow it only because the songs on this were all singles. They weren't previously on albums that I'm aware of. So if you wanted these songs on an album, it was this or nothing else.
Right.
And I feel like the record is too important to not have this in the list. Rockin' with Wanda Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta give props to Wanda
Yeah,
Jackson.
yeah.
She's not given enough recognition, and she's fantastic and very important.
Yes. Agreed.
Yes. Number 6, the Everly Brothers with "It's Everly Time."
Oh. See, I was trying to decide which Everly's album to put because you could do either one.
You could do either one. Yep. My number 5, Connie Francis back again with more Italian favorites.
Wow, she just is not giving this up.
I love that record.
It's so great.
It's so
I
awesome.
love it. It's so much goddamn fun.
Oh, man.
So many fucking Italian favorites.
Oh,
Yeah.
can never get enough. But my number 4, the Crests, with the Crests sing all biggies, which is not a compilation. It is an album.
And it's not a compilation of Biggie Smalls
No, it's not.
covers, is it?
No, they put that out 3 or 4 years later. After
Okay,
this.
after they died, they
Yes.
somehow managed to put
Yeah.
that out.
So, Dick. My number 3. This is kind of looking ahead to the surf craze in a way. The Ventures with "Walk Don't Run."
Yes.
Gotta have it on there.
Yeah.
Gotta have it on there.
I like that.
I didn't give as much love to instrumentals when we did singles of the year as compared to Crystal, who's definitely down with instrumentals. The next couple years, there's some instrumental albums that really I can't ignore.
Yeah.
My number 2, Paul, we have this in common. "A Date with the Everly Brothers."
Oh.
We have the same number 2.
See, wow. See, I was having trouble making the decision. Tommy decided he did not have to make that decision.
I could not decide between the two of them. I could definitely rank "A Date with the Everly Brothers" higher. For
Well,
me,
you
it's
know-
clear, but they both needed to be on there.
Yeah. Well, also, you could if this had been a different year, if this was like 65 or 66, I would just put them at a tie.
Yeah, I
But
can
in
see that, I can
60,
see
it's
that.
like, well, I don't know. I don't have like exactly like 10 of their albums vying for that spot. So
Right. Now, that leads me to my number 1. And this year, and it's not going to be like this every year, but there's going to be some years where there's one album that is so clearly the top record. I experienced that last episode when we did the 50s, and for me, it was Little Richard, obviously. There's no other album that came close.
Full Bertolino status.
Yeah, full Bertolino status, and it was
yes,
worthy
you
of
went
it.
full Bertolino.
It was worthy of getting
My
full
favorite part of that
Bertolino.
episode, by the way, is Tommy pointing at me and saying I was going full Bertolino about that album, and then immediately proceeding to go full Bertolino about that
Yep,
album.
and then he puts at the bottom, Tommy's going full,
Full
Bertolino.
Bertolino.
Yeah, spoiler alert in case you haven't watched that episode.
Ah, that's good.
But head and shoulders above the rest, leaps and bounds better than even A Date with the Everly Brothers. My number one for 1960, of course, Etta James with That Last.
Ding, ding, ding.
I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
Just listen to track number 2, My Dearest Darling.
Yeah. Well, that
Fucking
album
done.
is
I'm just done.
that album is the Here's Little Richard of 1960.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that record, right? I mean, you cannot go wrong with that album.
And abandon all hope. Abandon all hope of ever getting yourself an original pressing.
Oh, yeah, forget it.
Because that shit is like $200-$300.
Oh, is it
There's a
really?
record store here in Brooklyn, Human Head. First 2 Etta James album, first pressing, $300.
Wow.
Not even in particularly good condition.
And they're even crazier on Discogs and shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've seen one
So,
for $600.
It's reissue time if you want that album.
Well, it is.
That's all I got to say.
It is one hell of a fucking album.
It is really
It
good.
All right.
truly is.
Yeah, that is good.
And that to me,
That is a you.
All right. It's the kinder, gentler period, and as it should be. There's going to be a lot more agreement, I think, during this period.
I think so. I
Yeah.
think so. It starts out with healing.
Yeah, but don't worry, we'll be at each other's throat in no time.
It starts out with healing.
Yeah.
Yes, it starts
We
out.
heal
Yes,
first.
we unheal. We
And we
unheal.
gradually
we scratch open the.
unheal and become unhinged. Lots of uns going on.
But and when we get into the 70s, there'll be a lot of uncola going on.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, before we get to that, let's get to some 1960 ads here. I think, yeah. Our sponsors are calling. Here we go.
I'm hungry. What'd you do? Get a new doll? Oh no. Chatty Cathy asked first. Sure, 'cause a dog can talk or something. Please brush my hair. Okay, Daddy. Well, I told you she could talk. I just pulled this ring and she says 11 different things. Make her say that again. Maybe she will. Part of the fun is you never know what Chatty Cathy will say next. Will you play with me? Her skin is so soft. Hey, her hair feels real. I love you. Ah, Chatty Cathy loves everybody. And everybody loves her.
Chatty Cathy comes in a red or blue dress.
It's time to wake up.
Wake up to Tang.
Tang, the happy new breakfast drink you don't squeeze, unfreeze, or refrigerate. Yet it gives your family more of the vitamin C everyone needs every day. In fact, Tang gives you more vitamin C than the finest orange juice, fresh or frozen. More vitamin A, too. And Tang is so much easier to fix. Watch. Ice cold water in a juice glass, plus 1 rounded tablespoon of Tang. Stir, and instantly you have delicious Tang. Everyone loves its sunny, wide-awake flavor. Tang tastes fresh because you make it fresh each morning. You get more flavor, plus more vitamin C and A than even the freshest orange juice. Look for the jar with the orange-colored cap at your grocer's now. And every morning, wake up to Tang.
T-A-N-G.
Okay, we're about to do it.
All right, we're doing it.
Yeah.
Doing it
well.
well, and all. Yeah. Do it, baby. If you prefer 70s references,
Or do me, baby.
if you prefer 80s
80s,
references,
yeah.
Or
No, that'd be 90s references.
No.
Do Me Baby,
Do Me Baby
1981.
is Prince.
Prince.
No, I'm thinking of Do Me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do me, baby.
Do me, baby. Yep.
Oh.
All right.
Now
But-
you know.
While we're discussing 1960s songs right here, as we are, let's go to Crystal because she has a list.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I have a runners-up list.
You have a runners-up list, eh?
I do. I have a runners-up list. And these are in no particular order. So I've got I Believe by Mahalia Jackson. Save the Last Dance for Me by the Drifters. James Brown and the Famous Flames, Think.
Whoa, that's merely a runners-up.
It's a runners-up.
Wow, okay, all right.
And if you look at the album cover, it's hilarious because there's a little white baby on the album cover.
Well, it's kind of a brown baby. It's like it's not really that white. It's not a black baby.
It's not a black baby,
but
it's a very
not too pale.
High yellow. Yeah, but it's just funny that it's not like a brown baby for James Brown.
Yeah,
but whatever. I've got Dean Martin. This time I'm swinging.
Love. He's not taking any more shit. This time he's swinging.
He's swinging. He comes out swinging, literally.
No more fucking around.
I have Wayne Shorter, introducing Wayne Shorter, which is great. And this one, both of you guys are going to be like, what? My last runner-up is Etta James, At Last.
What?
Oh! Okay, just wait.
Whoa.
Just wait, okay? Just wait. Now,
I feel wounded by this.
Relax. Just chill.
Whoa, that's okay.
Have some more candy, Tommy.
That's a surprise.
That's a good idea.
All right, so my list is coming in hot at number 10 is Tambo by Tito Puente.
Ooh, Tambo.
One of his best records ever. Ever. So good. Are you down with Tito Puente?
Yeah.
Oh, you're missing out. Get on.
I'm not down.
All right. You're not up.
I'm Tito Puente ambivalent.
Oh, don't be ambivalent. Dive in. The water's warm.
So I'm suspecting, I'm cutting in a little too early on this. Maybe I should wait for later to say this, but I suspect that maybe Etta James is only on the runners-up list and not on the main list because she did the deadly sin of actually singing on the record.
No, that's not it.
Oh, like her next 9 are all going to be instrumentals?
Ow!
Well, no, that's not a...
I know. All right, coming in at number 9 is Tom Lehrer Revisited.
Meow?
He's meow. Okay, Tom Lehrer, he's a comedian from that time period.
Okay.
And he was very famous for writing all kinds of crazy songs like National Brotherhood Week. Do you know that one?
Oh.
So it's National Brotherhood Week. It's like where the Protestants hate the Catholics and the Catholics hate the Jews. Well, during National Brotherhood Week, it's really goofy, funny shit. It was on Dr. Demento all the time.
Okay.
Yeah. And he is a genius at writing these songs, Tom Lehrer. So if you like some good 1960 clean, good, fun comedy, get on Tom Lehrer because it's really good stuff.
Well, I've seen those records 1,000 times, but I've never listened to any of them.
They're so great. I mean, that's what turned me on to him was Dr. Demento in, like 1974 or whatever. And I went out to the thrift store and bought the record for $1. So there you go.
Motherfucker.
Yeah. My number 8 is Miriam Makeba by Miriam Makeba. She is Mother Africa. You know about her?
Mm-mm.
She is an incredible singer, and I can't remember what country she's from, but just so good singing.
She always has a headdress on.
Yeah, always singing these African songs. It's so great. She sings American songs or English songs in English, but really, really good. Really great. I grew up listening to that record. My number 7 is Mel Torme, Swing Schubert Alley by Mel Torme.
I was expecting some Mel Torme on your list.
Yes, The Velvet Fog. Love Mel Torme. So good. His voice, so great. I love him. Coming in at number 6 is John Coltrane, Giant Steps.
Oh, yeah.
Super important record.
If I was more into jazz, that would have easily made my list.
Well, just listen to it and you'll be more into jazz.
I've listened to it. I'm just not into jazz.
All right.
And all that jazz.
And all that jazz, yeah.
My number 5 is one of the best comedy albums ever. It is pure genius. It is The Button Down Mind of Bob Newhart. So fucking great.
Bob Newhart.
Do you know it?
Oh, I thought you said, do I know him? I'm like, yeah.
The record.
Yeah, I know the albums. Again, but like the Tom Lehrer, those are albums, those Bob Newhart albums. I've seen 100 million copies of those Bob Newhart records, but I never listened to them.
They're so good. You gotta listen to it. It's great. Bob Newhart, come on. My number 4 is Little Susie by the Ray Bryant Trio. And full disclosure, Ray Bryant was my uncle. And I grew up listening. This is why I'm a jazz person. One of the reasons why, because I listen to jazz all the time. From little kid, my father was always playing jazz records. So Little Susie is one of his big hit songs. Really great. He was an incredible pianist. Yeah. My number 3 is Sketches of Spain by Miles Davis.
A classic.
Classic.
A classique.
Yeah, I think it's in his like top 3 sketches of Spain. It's not that long actually, but it just takes you to another place, Don Quixote kind of thing. If you look at the album
To
cover,
Spain, possibly.
it takes you to Spain.
It'd be more funny if it took you to Portugal.
Well, close enough. Sketches of Spain. My number 2 is Music of the Future by Desmond Leslie.
Ooh, this one I don't know.
Do you know about that? So, there are, spoiler alert, there are going to be a couple of records like this in my lists early on. So it is basically what it says, music of the future. You know, noises and weirdness that, you know, the future, it's 1960. So what was the future in 1960?
It was full space age.
Yes.
Everything had huge fins and...
Exactly. So they're thinking like, what would it sound like on Mars? Beep, 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 pop, pop, pop. It's all this weird shit that has been sampled a million times. You've heard it on cartoons. You've heard it on hip-hop records. You've heard these noises everywhere. If you are, you know, at least 40 years old, you've heard them. Maybe even 35, you've heard them. But it's really great. And it's weird to listen to. But you can just imagine, like, they're having a key party on a Friday night with all the neighborhood couples. And it's like, ooh, sounds of the future. Ooh,
Well, it sounds like a sound effects record almost.
They
It's
put that
kinda-
on in their conversation pit.
Yeah, exactly. They got a fireplace going, they got fondue. Yeah. I mean, essentially it is a sound effects record, but they didn't call it a sound effects record because technically it was music for that time period. But it's really great. And my number 1 of 1960, and I can't believe you guys missed this, is Sister Rosetta Tharpe by Sister Rosetta Tharpe, who a lot of people claim started rock and roll.
I was eyeing her.
You're right, yeah.
But
Yeah, she's number 1 to me because she launched a million ships. So
and
that's
she was a
my
guitar player to boot.
Yeah,
Yes.
killer guitar player.
Yeah.
Yes.
So fucking
One of the earliest
great.
electric guitar players,
Yes.
I believe.
Yep.
Really, really, really great.
You think Angus Young rocked the SG?
Please.
Oh.
Get out of here. She crushed it. Crushed it. And there are videos of her on YouTube, particularly this one black and white one where she's wearing a coat and oh man, it's so great.
Oh, I know the one where she's just ripping it up and she's surrounded by the... Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
fucking awesome. And just effortless.
Yes.
She's never looking at her hands.
She's like John Entwistle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like and singing, just destroying. Yeah, she's really great. So if you don't know who she is, get on it because she's rock and roll history. That's my number 1.
That deserves a Muppet nod all around.
Thank you very much.
And, all right. Well, we'll be right back after these messages.
Have you read the label?
Sure.
Have you taken a look?
Sure.
The story behind the label reads like an open book.
It seems to me you have excellent reading taste.
Where there's life, there's bud.
Have you read the label? Let me put it this way. Do you know of any other beer so proud of its ingredients, it prints them plainly on every can and bottle? Next time, make it Bud. Budweiser, king of beers.
Sure.
Discover the clean difference. The clean difference in today's smoking with new Bel Air cigarettes.
Breathe easy, smoke clean with new Bel Air.
Now breathe easy. Bel Air has the clean difference in taste. New Air Fresh Menthol Blend for a clean breath of freshness in every puff. Breathe easy. Bel Air has the clean difference of a deep set, recessed filter. Set deep where the filter belongs. Yes, breathe easy. Smoke clean with the clean difference in taste. The clean difference of a deep set filter tip.
Breathe easy, smoke clean
clean difference in smoking.
Well, all right. Well, it is time to hate on 1960. I don't think we have a lot of hate for 1960, but you know,
A little bit of hate.
minimum,
Yeah.
minimal hate.
Minimal hate.
Dislike? Okay. Well, anyway,
Healthy disdain.
my dishonorable mentions. I have it listed here. Dishonorable mentions, plural, but I only have one. That's because for this year you only need one. Because my dishonorable mention is "Sing Again" with the Chipmunks. Low-hanging fruit, but
Sing
is.
again.
yeah, that's the thing. I mean, we don't want to hear the Chipmunks sing once. Again?
Again?
Go fuck yourself with that.
Wow.
I don't even know, honestly, I don't even know what all the songs are on the record.
They're contemporary hits. of
Yeah.
the day.
Well, yeah, I do know,
all
but
they
I
ever
just don't
did.
know what the actual track list is.
Oh, yeah.
I just know if it's Chipmunks, I hate it. So,
Okay.
so I'm taking the easy road this time.
All right.
No.
So, Tommy,
Hey.
can you hate?
Well, wait a second. You only had a dishonorable mention?
No, he said
I had one.
one.
One dishonorable
One.
mention. That's it.
I'm
I'm sorry, dishonorable mention. Well, I mean, my least favorite.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking
I'm
dishonorable
mixing up my
mentions and then
tones
a
here,
worst.
but I only have
yeah.
one album
Okay.
that I dislike.
All right. So
I mean, I
what do
probably
we then?
dislike others, but I would have to have listened to 100 albums to go, okay, you know.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't have a dishonorable mention. I've invented a new category. I don't know if this category is going to make another
Ooh.
appearance at any point.
Oh.
But I call it corniest album of the year. I couldn't necessarily put this in dishonorable mention. I couldn't put it in my worst of.
Corniest.
But it is not a good album. But they're trying so goddamn hard.
I like how you're like, it is not good album.
It is not. It's not a good album. It's not a good album. Did I say it is
You
not
said
good
it
album?
It's
not
not
good
good album.
album.
It does not give good album.
It is not good album.
Not good album.
Must not you listen.
Bad album.
Bad album. No record player.
Must not you listen.
Must not you listen. No. So my entry for corniest album of the year would be Jan and Dean with the Jan and Dean sound.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, Jan and Dean.
Jan
I
and
cannot
Dean,
get
like,
with Jan
yeah.
and Dean.
Like I want to get with Jan and Dean, but I just repeatedly cannot get with Jan and Dean. Like
No.
they're just corny as fuck.
They are.
Yeah, it's kind of easy to mix them up with early Beach Boys, but the difference in quality and it's just so.
Night and day.
It
Yeah.
really is. There's like an up-tempo doo-wop version of "Oh My Darling Clementine." I mean, it's like shit like that.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
there's some filler on the early Beach Boys albums that's nearly on that level.
Oh, yes,
but
it
the
is.
highs on those records are so high.
And that's what elevates it.
Yeah.
Clearly. But Jan and Dean, it's like their best tracks on some of these records will sometimes be like an acceptable Beach Boys filler album.
Yeah.
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll be coming back around to Jan and Dean later on, but they get corniest album of the year with the Jan and Dean sound. But my worst of the year. So this album surprised me. It's Jack Scott with the Fabulous Chantones with The Spirit Moves Me. So I'm looking at this album and I'm like, what the fuck am I looking at? It's like these three dudes, these corny looking motherfuckers in suits, like on the cover, and it's just like, okay,
Like
this is
looking at God?
Yeah, this is like some kind of spiritual gospel kind of fucking horse shit, and the spirit moves me, and I'm like, okay, well, this is this is gonna be one of the many albums, because in this era there are so many albums that came out that are just fucking hot garbage. We're not even gonna bother listing because who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
But I figured this would be one of those, but I was like, well, the cover is bad enough that let me at least give a track a listen. So I just randomly selected, like, I don't know, maybe track 5 or 6. I forget what song it was. And it was like this gospel rockabilly thing, and it totally fucking slapped. And I'm like, wait a second, what the fuck is this shit? Did I just discover some kind of weird,
That's the South.
kind of cult record, like, but it like totally kicks ass? So I'm like, I'm gonna check out the rest of this record. What if this thing is gonna make my list? And then listen to the rest of the record, and it was like bad. It was bad. I think like they do like Old Man River on there, like, or just all sorts of real bad shit. Yeah, so unfortunately, the album turned out to be as awful as the cover led me to believe, and it gets a mention because it temporarily tricked me into thinking maybe this was a surprise.
Well, now, did you listen to
sleeper.
that whole first track the first one that you hit on?
The whole
did you
first
listen to the whole
one,
track
I
and it's
listened to
actually a good
the
track?
whole first track, and I was like, wait, this can't. Is the whole record like this?
Wow, so you just happened to hit on the one good
one
track.
track that was like promising, and then I listened to the rest of the record. I was like, fuck.
And it was the first song that was the best.
It was a
No,
random
it was a
one.
random
Oh, it was
one.
random.
It was like
Oh.
5 or 6 or 7 or some bullshit like
Really?
that I just randomly selected.
You had a divining
The Lord chose
The
that
Lord
track for
chose
you.
that for me, yeah.
Yes.
The Spirit moved me.
The Spirit
Yes.
moved you.
So my worst of the year, Spirit Moves Me, Jack Scott with the fabulous Chantones. It's a weird rockabilly, Jesus Billy, fucking waste of time
Billy.
Billy.
She's a Billy.
Jesus Billy.
Jeez, Billy. That's good.
So over to you, Crystal.
All right. I only have one song.
Album?
That is the worst.
song?
Or sorry, album. I only have one. And it is Dominic the Donkey
Chingity ching.
by Lil Monty.
Oh.
Sorry. And it's not even, it's a turn it down, not a break my neck to turn it off. But that's the worst I could come up with for that year.
Santa's reindeer.
I know, Santa's
Cannot
reindeer
climb the
can't
hills
climb the
of
hills.
Sicily.
I know.
Wow.
Hills of Sicily.
Who knew Tommy's feelings would get hurt this early in the series?
Hey,
I
jingity
win!
jing.
I win!
Dominic the donkey.
Oh my god.
All right.
Yeah, I grew up on Long Island.
Yeah. Oof.
All right. Well, let's try and get in one more commercial here before we go out.
How's this, Mommy?
Oh, that looks good. Hi, darling. Hurry and get ready for dinner. PTA meeting tonight.
Ellen, please. I just got home. Don't rush me. Control yourself. Sure, you have a headache. You're tense, irritable. Don't take it out on her.
You need Anacin for fast relief. The big difference in Anacin makes a big difference in the way you feel. Minutes after taking Anacin, headache pain's gone, so tension's gone, irritability's gone. You're in control again. You see, Anacin is a combination of ingredients that contains the pain reliever prescribed most by doctors. So for headache pain, remember, an aspirin tablet gives some relief, and with buffering you get some. But an Anacin gives this same pain relief, plus extra relief power, plus the power of an extra ingredient. So millions get fast relief without stomach upset. The big difference in Anacin makes a big difference in the way you feel.
Ready?
All right. Well, all right. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Here we are at the end of our first episode of the 60s. I'm going to enjoy it while it lasts because, we got the 60s and the 70s, and then, well, we won't talk about anything after that just yet. Mm-hmm. But we'll have plenty to say about it when we get there. Anyway, 1960. It was a very good year. It was a very good year.
Oh. I heard the summer wind blew a lot. 1960.
What do we want to say? I think I guess we'll just tell you guys maybe that you should probably subscribe if you haven't. If you do, though, you probably want to ring a little bell because you probably want notifications. I just sense this. I know what you want. You don't have to tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I know what you want. You want notifications, and the bell? We'll provide that for you. And, like and subscribe, and I already said subscribe, comment, and all that kind of stuff. And
tell your friends.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Alan Hamill.
No problem. Tell
all
your
right.
friends.
And we will see you next week because we're going to be discussing our favorite albums of 1961.
All right. Yeah.
All right. See you next time.
Bye.